What's up, you guys? It's Elizabeth here, back with another YouTube video. And today's video is all about anxiety. You know, it's all about anxiety. And we're going to be talking about, the title of this video is When Anxiety is at its worst, Put God First. But I'm going to be talking to you guys about my story and everything that I've dealt with when it comes to anxiety, because anxiety is something that I know that a lot of people struggle with, and with them in the mental health community and with mental illness. So I know that a lot of people struggle with it. So I want to help somebody out there, you know, to understand that they are not alone, and that there are ways to, you know, get over this anxiety and this fear that you just have. Before I get into this video, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And let's get right into this video. So, anxiety is a form of fear or unknown fear that you have about something that's going to happen. So something about that you're going to have that's unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, so you're scared about it. You're having anxiety about it. You know? So I'm going to explain to you my story with anxiety, and then I'm going to give you some tips about, you know, things that can help you to cope and to get over and overcome this anxiety. Around, like, I want to say in high school, around like the 12th grade of high school, I had a moment one morning, I remember. And by the way, before I get into this, I want to say that I struggle with a condition called HS, and it is a very debilitating disease. It's hard to deal with, and you know, it just takes over you a lot, your life a lot, like physically, emotionally, and mentally. So I just want to put that out there. But around 12th grade, I remember one morning I woke up and I was doing my hair, and all of a sudden I just felt some type of fear just come over me, and I don't know what I was scared about. But I was just nervous, scared. I was getting ready to go to school, and it was just so much fear. And I remember I went and told my mom, and she was just like, just try to get through it. But it was nothing. We didn't know it was anxiety. I didn't know it was anxiety. I knew it was something, but I didn't know it was anxiety. It was just a sudden fear that just came over me. And I know that anxiety, now I know that when anxiety happens, you don't know why you're scared. And I'm going to get, it's more times when this is going to happen as well. But you don't know why you're scared. But this happened to me just that one time. And like, it was so scary. And then it lasted for about a few seconds, and then it was gone. It lasted for about a minute or two or three, and maybe it was gone. So from there on, I didn't have no more anxiety attacks for the rest of my senior year of high school, and boom, it was over with. I didn't know it was anxiety at the time, but now that I think about it, it was anxiety. So from there on, I wasn't, you know. So and I think I knew what caused it, because I was going through so much with my HS my senior year. I will like link down below some videos about my story with HS. But just know that I didn't know it was anxiety, and it just happened. So moving on to when after I graduated high school, you know, I remember another night. I was like, it was my first year of college. I was a freshman at my college. And I remember one night I was just listening to some music. This is normally just listening to some music. And all of a sudden, after I listened to the music, like, I was just laying in my bed, and I felt something coming over me. Like, it was a sudden fear I felt coming over me, but I didn't know what it was. So I just felt a sudden feeling coming over me. Like, I felt something like this, a sudden feeling just started to rise in me. Like, I just felt a sudden fear that's come. And then all of a sudden, I just like started to panic. Like, literally panic. Like, I was laying in bed, and I got up out of my bed, and then all of a sudden I just started panicking. Like, I ran like to the inner room, my mom, and I told my mom. It was like late at night too. It was like after midnight. Like, it was like in the middle of the night. And I remember I was just panicking, telling mom, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared. And I just kept telling her that, and she was like, calm down, calm down, calm down. But I knew that was anxiety that moment. I knew that was anxiety, but I didn't know where it came from. This was another panic attack or anxiety attack. And I was so scared. Like, I felt like I couldn't calm down. I was just so scared. I just felt like I just felt so fearful. Like, nobody can help me. That's how it felt. It felt like I was so fearful and having so much and so anxious to the point where nobody can help me. That's how I felt. Okay, So moving on to the next anxiety moment. So after that, I was pretty much anxious a lot from there on. What I mean by that is every single day from that point on, I was like feeling kind of weird from that moment, because I'm like, okay, why did I have that moment where I was scared for no apparent reason, and it just came out of nowhere later in the middle of the night? Like, why in the world did that happen out of nowhere? So I was anxious like every single day because I was scared that was going to happen to me again. And that's what happens with anxiety. You're scared you're going to have anxiety. Sometimes you have anxiety and you're scared you're going to have anxiety. So I was scared that that anxiety attack would happen to me again. So why am I having anxiety, period? So from there on, for months and months and months, I kept having anxiety. And then moving on into the month where I got really ill from some medical problems, and I had to go to the hospital to get a blood transfusion. And this is where they treated me for HS. And then when I got off the medication, because it had some complications, some problems with it, you know, and I got off of it, then I started to have symptoms. I don't know if you want to call it withdrawal symptoms or whatever you want to call it, but I started having symptoms. And this goes into like my altercation that I'm going to explain. But in June of 2019, before that, actually, I remember going to the doctor's office to try to figure out what is going on with me with my medical problems. I remember I went to the doctor's office. I remember I was having anxiety like crazy. Like, I would be crying, like bawling in tears, and I don't know why I'm crying. Sometimes I didn't know I was crying, but I think sometimes I was crying because I was like scared something was going to happen to me. That's how bad my anxiety was. I was scared something was going to happen to me medically. I remember there were times where I had to call the ambulance, and we called the ambulance twice for me, I think, or 3 times. And one out of that time was for something serious, and the other 2 times was because I was having so much anxiety. I was scared that something was going to happen to me. Like, I kept feeling my heart drop. And they said when you feel that, they said it's most likely anxiety when you feel fluttering in your heart. And I kept on. I like would be so scared when I get to the emergency room. They will find nothing wrong with me. Everything will be okay. My vital signs, everything will be okay. They run blood work and everything will be fine. But I just kept having anxiety, and I was so scared that something was going to happen to me, and I was so scared that something was wrong with me, like medically or physically. So I remember June of 2019, I remember one day I went and got my hair done. So I went and got my hair done, and as I was getting my hair done, I remember I was having so much anxiety. It was so bad. Like, it was so bad. Like, I remember I was in there getting my hair done. I was just scared. And then all of a sudden, I remember I went to a family member's house, and I was still having anxiety. I'm like, okay, why am I having anxiety? And it was raining that day too, so that just made it worse. You know what they say, if you have a gloomy day, it can make it worse. I was just having so much anxiety. So I remember when I got home, my parents left the house, and I remember I was having so much anxiety to the point I told my parents, and they was like, oh, just calm down, you're gonna be okay. But I remember saying that I feel like I need to go somewhere. And what I mean by that is I feel like I need to go to a mental facility. And I told my mom that, and she was like, oh, just calm down, you're gonna be okay. But I felt like that. I did feel like that because I was so anxious to the point where I felt like I couldn't control it. I didn't know why I was anxious. I didn't know what I was anxious about, but I just kept feeling anxious. So instead, when my parents left, I took the action of trying to take my own life, and I overdosed. Fast forward, I went to the hospital. They Baker acted me, and then from there on, they Baker acted me, and then I got released home. And from there on, I was having so much anxiety still. So I remember one day I stayed home, and I remember I woke up the next morning. I woke up next morning after I came from the hospital. I woke up the next morning from when I had came from the hospital, and I was still having anxiety. I remember I could barely sleep at night, but I woke up still having anxiety. So I went with my mom to the grocery store, and everything was fine, and I was okay because I had got out the house. But when I came back home, the anxiety started right back up. And you know, I'm not saying because I wasn't getting out of the house and that's why the anxiety was happening. Like, no, sometimes I would get out of the house, like I mentioned before. I was going to doctor's appointments and I was having anxiety like crazy, you know. So, and sometimes I'll be out of the house somewhere, I was having anxiety like crazy. So I'm going to get into about what my anxiety was like you know. So I got back home from the grocery store with my mom, and I was having anxiety. And I remember I was laying in the room watching TV, and I was trying to calm myself down by watching like something funny, and I just kept having anxiety. I didn't know what I was having it about. I called a family member, and they was like trying to talk me through and just tell me I'm okay. And sometimes you don't know why you're having anxiety. That's how it is with anxiety. You don't know why you're having it. It just comes over you. And you know, I remember I made myself sick. And what I mean by that, I'm not gonna get too TMI, but pretty much and it was crazy. Like I made myself sick. That was the first time ever that I made myself sick. And I don't want to say I made myself sick. The anxiety made me sick to my stomach. That's how bad it was. The anxiety can make you sick to your stomach, and I did not know that until when it happened to me. Anxiety can literally make you sick to your stomach. I think everybody knows that because I've had that happen to me before. But you know, before this is not before a test anxiety or before when you're getting ready to go to a game. Like because I used to play flag football, so before games, I remember I would get sick to my stomach, but it wasn't like this. Listen, with anxiety, literally, it was sick to my stomach that made me sick like that. And
I was trying to say that when I have anxiety, I was trying to say that it made me basically like puke, if you know what I mean, because I was having so much anxiety and it made me very, 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 very sick to my stomach. So that's why I want to explain a little disclaimer in this video.
It was just crazy. Like it was like something that happened to me that never happened to me before. So then moving on to a week or two later, I attempted suicide again. And that was because I was having anxiety and having thoughts about others, about harming others. Something that I would never do. Something that is just something that was very, very scary. I was having anxiety and I was so scared about that thought that I was having because it's something that I never experienced before. Never came into my mind. Like it's something that I never experienced before. So it was scary.
And basically, I was just having these thoughts that were just coming out of nowhere. I didn't want to have these thoughts about other people, but they were just coming out of nowhere. Thoughts I just kept on having just from nothing.
So, moving on to a month later, I got back and went to a facility, all of that. And then from there on, I was still having anxiety. So it was that those thoughts were still coming in my head, and it was just like really just so scary to the point to I was barely getting any sleep, barely eating, and it was just so like uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. It felt like it was eating me alive. Like it was so scary. Like it just really was just so unbearable. It felt unbearable, like unbearable anxiety. So then in August of 2019, again, this was the third time. If you don't I'll put the video down below because I did my story on it. And then I attempted again, and this time it was all 3 times I attempted with pills. That's something I just did. And then after that, I was still having anxiety, but it wasn't unbearable. It wasn't unbearable. So yeah, I remember like a month after I came back from that facility, I remember I had an anxiety attack when I was on the way to a store in the car with my mom, and I would be staring into space, and it was happening to me multiple times, like throughout the week. Like all of a sudden, I'll be staring into space, and I would be having anxiety. Like I'd be so scared, just scared about nothing. Like I'll just be having anxiety and scared that something's gonna happen to me or that I was gonna freak out. Like that's how anxiety can make you feel. So I might be staring in space and be literally sitting there still, not talking, not saying anything because I'm so scared. Like in my head, I'm just thinking like, oh my goodness, like I'll be freaking out in my head. So yeah, so that was my anxiety stories that I've had, those moments. And yeah, so basically in this video, I just want to give you some encouragement about anxiety and help you to understand that you can overcome this. You can. Like with God, you can overcome this. With you can overcome this anxiety. And I want you to understand that you are not alone through this. Anxiety can make you feel like you are alone and that there's no one there to help you, or nothing can help you. There is help for you. There are so many hotlines. There are so many things that you can do, like therapy. You know, there are so many things that you can do. Like if you have to go to a facility, get on medication, or if you have to call the hotline, or if you need therapy, this is okay. Or if you need support groups, whatever it may be, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I know there's a stigma with mental health. There is a stigma with mental health, and I know that a lot of people don't like to talk about it. A lot of people don't like to talk about mental health at all. And I know that it's hard to talk about, period. I know it's hard to talk about, period. But I want to let you know that you aren't alone, and that, you know, you're going to get through this. And I want you to understand that whatever anxiety may make you feel like you aren't worthy, or make you worry about things, I want you to understand that, you know what? You are worthy. You are worthy of so much, and you are so loved. You are loved, and you are beautiful, and you are such an amazing person. So don't let the anxiety take over. And I really want to speak on God real quick, and just like speak about how much He has helped me with it. Like, God says, cast all His fears on Him, for He cares for you. And I know that I had to tell myself a lot. What helped me with my anxiety was, God is with me, I am okay, and I will be okay. That's what helped me with my anxiety. And once I believed that, and really put that in my mind, and just kept thinking that over and over and over and over again, I had to put that on my phone, on the front screen of my phone. I had to put that on the front screen of my phone. And it's something that I told myself over and over and over and over again. I had to keep telling myself over and over again. And it helped me so much. It really helped me so much, because at the end of the day, like, you can't let the anxiety take over. And anxiety will try to take over. It will try to take over your whole life. And it's something that a lot of people have to deal with throughout a lifetime. Sometimes anxiety doesn't go away throughout a lifetime, you know? And it's okay to be anxious. It's okay to feel anxious, you know? And I just want you to understand that it's okay to have those moments, but don't let it take over. Don't believe those negative thoughts that anxiety is telling you, you know? Like, it's so difficult to go through that. But I want you to understand that you aren't alone when you are dealing with anxiety. That's the biggest thing I want you to understand, that you aren't alone. I know you may feel alone, because, like, you can be out with a crowd of people. You can be out with a crowd of people and still feel alone with anxiety. Because I've dealt with that before. So I know how it feels to be to that point to where you're just like, man, like, this anxiety is so difficult to even deal with. I don't know what to do, and I'm stuck around all these people. I can't tell anyone how I'm feeling. And that's another thing anxiety may try to tell you, is like, you are belittled or less than because you have anxiety, and don't go tell anyone, because it's going to make you look like you're crazy or something. Like, no, that is all false material, invalid. You're not crazy. You are not less than. You're not unworthy. You are not degraded below anyone or anything. Like, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. And I know during what we're going through in this world, a lot of people have been dealing with anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. A lot of people have been dealing with so much throughout this time. So I want to make it easy to understand that you are not alone. Like, if you feel like you're isolated, and you feel like, you know, I'm having so much anxiety because I'm isolated, like I know that there are times when I get bored and I have anxiety, you know, because I'm not doing anything. I'm like, okay, what do? I don't have anything to do. I don't have anything to watch, you know, like TV or anything, or like YouTube videos or movies or whatever you want to call it. You know, I get bored. Sometimes I get anxiety. I'm being real with you guys. I'm letting you guys know, like, I still have anxiety to this day. So I know how it feels to go through those moments, and you just feel like it's nothing that I can do, or you're isolated. For somebody who has HS, who's isolated a lot, I know how it feels. Like, I'm not around my peers. I don't know what to do. Like, I know. So I want you to understand that you are not alone. Even if you're isolated, go to God and pray. Pray is one thing. I'm going to give you like some tips really quickly to help you overcome this anxiety. And one thing I want to say is journaling. So journaling can help you if you write your thoughts out, whatever you're fearful about. Even if you're not fearful about anything, write that down, because it will help so much to get your thoughts out on paper, so you can just see it on paper. It will help so much to whatever moment, whatever anxiety moment you're going through, whatever panic attack you are having, it will help you. Now, if you feel like you can't write anything down, anxiety is taking, like you can barely function, because I know anxiety can help you not to barely function, then one thing I want to say is to let your emotions be. Let your anxiety be. What I mean by that is to feel your emotions. So don't try to fight it so much to a point to where you're stressing yourself out. Why am I having anxiety? What do I do about this anxiety? Like, no, just, okay, I'm having anxiety. Let me just breathe. Let me just try to relax. Like, just feel like, if you have to, try to stay still. I know sometimes with anxiety, some people can shake their hands. Their palms can get sweaty and they can just be shaking, you know, but try to just calm down. Sit down if you want to. I know laying down probably won't help, but if you feel like laying down, you can. Or I heard someone say, like, you get on the floor, like you touch the floor, like you just like relax, but try your best to sit up straight and take deep breaths, calm down, and literally like just breathe. If you have to, like, rub your thighs or whatever to just like help yourself be, just relax, literally, because I know that has helped me through my anxiety. If I just breathe and just try to think about something positive, you know, try to do something to distract yourself. I know that that's not good to distract yourself from something sometimes, because it's still there. Even if you try to distract yourself and try to cover it up, it's still going to be there. But at the end of the day, I know that if you do distract yourself just a little bit, just for one time, if you feel like, you know, just for that one time, then okay. But if you feel like you can get through it and you can bear through it, then of course, just breathe, relax, let your emotion be. Don't try to fight it so much. Don't try to fight the anxiety so much, because it will go away. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. That's one thing I want to say. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. I'm open. Like, you can talk to me, whatever. If you need to talk to someone, and just let them know how you're feeling. You know that you're having anxiety. You may not know what it's about. If you do know what it's about, tell them what you're having anxiety about. Don't be afraid, and just be open, and just pour out your heart, and just talk to someone, whether that be through therapy, maybe that be to a friend, a guardian, parent, teacher, whoever it may be, family member, whoever it may be. Just try your best to just talk to someone. And talk, last thing I want to say is talk to God. Pray. Please pray. Because it will help you so much. God is listening to you. He is listening. And He was there to help you. Reading scriptures. There are so many scriptures that you can read. Do not fear. Don't fear what this anxiety can do to you. God is with you. He is with you through it all. So, please just try your best if you're going through anxiety. If you're going through anxiety while you're watching this video, please just try your best to relax and just let yourself be. Like I said before, drop your shoulders. Don't be so tense. And just really just try to be positive and live life. I know anxiety can make you not be positive. You can be a little bit negative sometimes, but that is okay. We all go through it. We all have times when we're not negative. But try to be uplifting, positive. Fill yourself up with positive things within your life, positive people, positive, TV shows and movies, and positive music, and positive, books, and of course reading the Word of God, and just really just focusing on positivity overall. Positivity. I want you guys to be motivated to want to move forward in life. Motivated to moving forward. Because that's all you can do, especially when I know anxiety can try to stop you from moving forward. But no, we're not going to let this anxiety stop us. We're going to move forward. We're going to push past this anxiety. We're going to push past it. So don't let this anxiety get to you. Don't let anxiety take over you at all. So please remember that you are loved. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are wonderful. You are meant to be here. You are enough. You are worthy. You are greatness, and greatness is always coming for your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me telling my story. I know it was a little bit on a deeper side, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.